Hello and welcome to the Portrait Podcast. At a convening on October 25th and 26th, 2022, the Nevada Department of Education teamed with ed.Xtraordinary to launch the Portrait of a Nevada Learner. While community members from across the state attended presentations and workshops, they were also invited to sit down and be interviewed by young people from the community to share their perspective. Each week, we will drop one of these short conversations to inspire your thinking as we build a community-wide vision for who we want our young people to be. Enjoy.
Good afternoon, Las Vegas, and good afternoon, America. You are back with the podcast. I am your host, Demarie, here with my co-host.
My name is Adamari Navarre. It's nice to meet you guys, and we also have a guest speaker.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Alex Bybee with Communities and Schools.
And we're getting right into it. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah.
Let the people know who you are, what you do, and how your day's been.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I'm a Nevadan. I'm Alex, and I've worked in education nonprofits for several years. I'm currently the Chief Strategy Officer at Communities and Schools
Oh my
in
gosh,
Nevada.
so amazing.
Yeah.
Can we get a round of applause for that?
Look at you doing your host thing over there. I like it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, one of the questions that we have for you here today is, what's something exciting you learned from today's conversations?
Well, I've really enjoyed getting to learn a little bit more around what personalized and competency-based learning looks and feels like, and I was excited to chat with both of you to kind of learn about, your perspectives as either students or recent graduates about how this kind of learning would have been
very useful.
preferred or useful or kind of helped you engage or be more inspired by your educational experience. And I think we need to be thinking differently about how kids come to school and learn.
Right.
Because I think it's not working for a lot of kids.
And that's I love that you said that, because in another interview we had, which again I say my team hears me say it all the time, they're getting tired of it, but I just feel like we can't keep, in a sense, dumbing the requirements down to fit students.
Yeah.
Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If the way we are doing things is not working,
right,
it is then not, the student's fault to a certain extent. Okay, now we got to dumb it down. Let's just pass them through.
Right.
It's more of all right, so how can we get them there? How do we get them ready? What are some challenges?
And what are we getting them ready for?
Exactly. What's to come afterwards? And those are the big questions that people try to have answers to, but they're not focused on the real question, if that makes sense to you. So,
I hear that.
Your next question?
Yeah, so another question we have for you is, what does it mean for you to live a good life and build a thriving community?
Oh, I like that. Good life, thriving community. Mm-hmm. I would say good life, health and wellness are an important part of that, right? Building authentic relationships with yourself, with each other, with your family, with your community, being curious, being a learner, lifelong learner, right? All those things to me are fundamental to a thriving life. And then I would say, what was the second part of your question?
We also have another question that we can get to. So how do you see school helping us get there? Yeah, the community, schools, how do you feel like we can all come in together to help us get that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to think about communities and schools and the people who are in those schools and are in our communities, to think of those as one and the same. Right. I think we think about schools as something that are over there and communities as something that are over here. And ultimately, all of us go in and out of those systems and neighborhoods and schools and spaces every day.
Yes.
And so we have to think about what role does school play overall in developing our young people, but also in providing a space for community, for people to come and connect and support young people in their journey of finding themselves.
And that's one thing, the word community, I feel like there's such a more in-depth meaning than most people touch base on. It's really, in a sense, you're a family at the end of the day, everybody in here in some capacity is family. We all have a common goal, and that's to better the education system in a whole. But how we do that, how we get there, what does that look like? That's up to all of us to decide.
Right.
So I really like when we use the word community. Are you are you familiar with the left brain, right brain
Yeah.
concept? So I see myself as more of a right brain guy. Creativity, content creation, media. Where would you say that you lie if you're left brain, right brain? And for people that don't understand that, the left brain, right brain concept is the right brain is your more creativeness, art. Left brain is, your more seriousness, discipline and things of that nature. So where would you say you lie? Middle, right, left?
It's a good question. I feel like I'm happiest when I'm activating my right brain.
Gotcha.
I think I have to use my left brain a lot. And I think that our school system and workplaces and society really value left brain thinking more than right brain thinking.
Oh my gosh, that's
definitely
I'm so glad that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that those of us that are more inclined towards the right brain sometimes don't feel like spaces, places, or schools were designed for us. And so, I think it's important to work both sides of the brain, but I definitely think that our systems are definitely inclined towards left brain thinking. So.
Well, thank you so much for being on our podcast. Is there anything you want to say to the peers? Any advice you have for any young people out there or just anybody in general?
I would just say I'm glad that we're all here today.
Definitely, and thank you so much for
Thank you
talking
so
to us
much.
and giving us
It's
your
been a
full
blessing.
attention.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I'm excited to see what y'all do.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Again, you guys know what it is. It starts here. We're signing out.
See ya.
The Portrait Podcast was recorded and created by the young people from Choice Business Group. If you would like to join the conversation, please visit portrait.envyfutureoflearning.org. Again, that's portrait.envyfutureoflearning.org.